Yeah, it's definitely disappointing to probably get that scoreline put on us at home was tough to swallow. You've got to look at some positives as well. Certainly in the first half we created a few chances and we just couldn't capitalise on those. But you've got to give credit to England. That defensive wall that they had is pretty rock solid, and then for them to be able to flip that around and transition into attack, it's a different beast. They're very quick, they're very strong, and the physicality probably told on us in the end.
Was that England performance, I suppose, the result of what we've been seeing in the media about full-time contracts being awarded lately? Or
yeah, I mean, look, they would have pulled out performances like that last year as well. I think you've got to look at the depth and numbers that they have. They've got impact subs coming on and changing the game as well, and as I say, they just add more to the physicality and puts us on the back foot. And when you're going to have to make so many tackles and soak up that pressure, unfortunately, the try line opens up a little bit. 13-0
down at half-time. Was there a thought that you could come back into the game? Because there were some really good periods of defence in that half.
Yeah, definitely. We believed in ourselves 100%, and again, we put them under pressure in terms of some of our attack as well. We just couldn't get that final nudge over the line, or we might knock on a ball here and there, and that probably cost us a little bit as well. But we certainly had belief, and as I say, just in the end, their physicality, their fitness, it probably told on us, and we just ran out of gas.
How do you keep that belief going? I know when you're playing a team like that, you have to expect they are going to come out of their best, and it's going to be very difficult, even on your best day, to beat them. But how do you keep that belief going when that's what you're facing into?
Well, you have to look at some of the positives, and in terms of getting some line breaks on them, and creating some quick ball and playing with the tempo that we want to play with. We did that a few times, and then it's just those last passes that let us down a little bit, or we got detached from our cleaners at the breakdown, and we probably turned over ball where they got on it too quickly. So, you kind of look at those and you say, well, if we can tidy those areas of the game up, then you're going to hold the ball for longer, you can build more pressure, and a little bit like they did to us, then we can kind of force those errors on the defensive side of things.
When you look at your panel, we can see you've got a good mix there now of young and more experience, for the more polite way of putting it. I suppose one of the questions that does keep cropping up is, would there ever be space for Niamh Briggs to come back again into your squad?
Yeah, look, as I've said before, she's playing AAL at the moment, and like anyone in the AAL, she's available for selection if we have injuries. At this point, we've spoken about it, and we've got our out halves that are there at the moment, and they're still working away, and we're putting faith in them, and we're making sure that they take learnings from this as well, and they grow and get better and better. And that's basically what we're looking at.
Yeah, it's not to put not faith in them, because they did perform really well, especially when you consider what they were up against. But I suppose when you do mention Niamh and how well she is playing the AIL at the moment, you could say last year, of course, no, she wasn't up to her best, but some would say she's backfiring now,
Yeah, that's a fair point, but again, AAL is a completely different beast to playing England on a Six Nations match.
Absolutely, no, absolutely agree. But the positives, I was just saying there to Ciara before we finished up there, that at full time, when you'd understand they threw in the towel, they didn't. They kept fighting on.
Yeah, that's what we've spoken about. We want to be a team that are hard to beat, and obviously our scoreline was a bit unflattering to us, but you can definitely know that England were in a test match and we will not give up any match, so we're making sure that that's something that we will take through, whether it's in England, Scotland and Italy. We're going to be that side that play for full 80 minutes and try and keep pressure on teams. You could hear the shouting anytime we got into the 22. They really uplifted us, and of course we need that. We always want that big crowd, and hopefully that's a sign of they can see that we're trying to play rugby. We're trying to make sure that we put teams under pressure, and you just got to bear with us, and it's going to take time to make sure these younger players get a feel for this and this atmosphere and this test match arena, that it's a lot tougher than, as I say, coming from an AAL or an Interpro game. It's a different beast altogether, so as long as they can keep the faith with us, we'll keep fighting.